Hi everyone, Mrs. Johnson here. We are on to day 2 of our online learning concepts here. And today I'm going to introduce you to your first of several exponent rules. As I've said, this entire chapter here is about exponents, and you'll notice today the first one we are going to learn about is called the product rule. Now, hopefully you remember the keyword product indicates to us that we are going to be multiplying. As you can see at the top of the paper, we are multiplying monomials, which means we are multiplying one term by another one term. There are 2 steps to this written here at the top. Step number 1 is to multiply what we have called the coefficients. So if you remember, the coefficients are the numbers in front of the variable. So just as we would on any normal multiplication question, we are going to multiply those numbers in front of the variables together first to get the beginning part of our answer. Now, in order to use the product rule, that is to simplify the exponents. So we know product means multiply, but what that means is we're multiplying one term by another term. And as we multiply them, the product rule actually tells us that we are going to add the exponents together. So notice this part here. This is what we call the base. The base will stay the same. Okay, so the base, if it's a variable, if it was the letter X, it will stay a letter X. If it was a letter A, it'll stay the letter A. And the exponents are what we are actually adding together to simplify these expressions. So I'm going to go through some examples here with you, very similar to what I did with the lesson yesterday. I'm going to look at the first 2 columns, so column number 1 and column number 2, and then I'm going to pause for a moment or two, and if you want to pause the video at that point, you could try that last column on your own, and then compare the answers you get to the answers that I get here as I go over the notes. Okay, so number 1, we start off pretty simple here. We have x squared times x to the third. So what I am going to do, and I will write the first one out, we are going to take and add 2 and 3 together, which would equal x to the 5th. That's our final answer. Now, when there is no exponent written here, it's just like there's no coefficient in front. This is actually a 1. So we are going to add 9 and 1 together, which would give us a to the 10th. As I said, I'm going to continue down the first 2 columns here. So number 4, we get a little bit trickier. We now have coefficients. So we are going to multiply. We're going to multiply 3 times 5. That will give us 15. And we are going to add the exponents. So multiply the numbers, add the exponents. Remember those 2 rules. So in this case, 6 plus 2 would give us a total of 8. All right, number 5, the same idea. We're going to do 5 times 6. 5 times 6 would equal 30. And then we are going to add the exponents. So 2 plus 4 would give us a total of 6. So 30x to the 6th is your final answer there. Continuing through number 7. Now we have multiple variables, but it's the same idea. We're going to multiply our numbers. 8 times negative 3 is negative 24. And then we are adding the exponents with the matching variable. So 4 plus 4 for the x's would equal 8. And 2 plus 9 with the y's would equal 11. And that's our final answer for number 7. All right, in number 8, they all have a letter y, so we actually are allowed to multiply all 3 of these numbers. 2 times negative 5 would be negative 10, times 3 would be negative 30. Remember, there's actually a 1 after this y, so we will add 1 plus 2 plus 3. 1 plus 2 plus 3 would equal a total of 6. All right, in number 10, again, we have 3 terms to multiply. We can multiply the numbers. 6 times 7 is 42. and then add the exponents with the same variable. So 1m plus 2m's would give us m to the third, and then we have 1n plus 4n's would give us n to the fifth. And that's your simplified answer. Number 11, 8 times 10 would be 80. And you're adding exponents. 2 plus 3 would equal 5, and 1 plus 5 would equal d to the sixth. So I'm hoping this is seeming pretty simple right now. Let's continue on here to number 13 and 14. I know there are some here with fractions, but this one's pretty easy fraction. -6 times a half. Half of -6 would equal -3. And then I have 2 plus 1 for the a's, that would be a to the third, and 1 plus 1 for the b's would be b to the second power. All right, now, if you are struggling with fractions, the way to multiply these fractions, you actually will multiply 12 times 2 and then divide that all by 3. So 12 times 2 is 24, divided by 3 would give you 8 for the coefficient. There is only one x, so that will stay in the answer, and then you will add 1y with 4y, and you would get y to the fifth. Okay. So that concludes those two columns. So I'm going to pause here a moment, and I would encourage you to pause the video and look at the third column from number 3 to 15 and attempt to answer those here on your own for just a moment, and then I will review the answers with you. So in number 3, the answer would be 12x to the 7th. Number 6, -12, a to the 5th, b to the 6th. Number 9, -6. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 x's, and 1, 2, plus 3 would give you a total of 5 y's. Number 12, -4 times -5 is +20. You have 5 r's and 3 s's, so you're adding them all together. Now, in the last one, this is really 8 divided by 4. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. 2 times -6 would equal -12. And then you have a total of 3 m's and 3 n's. Okay, so that's one term times another. Now, the bottom section here, they add a step, basically with what we talked about yesterday and what we talked about today. So you'll notice at the bottom of the page, there are 2 parts to this. We are going to multiply first. So 2 times 4. So basically cover up this second part. Act like it's not there right now and multiply 2 times 4. You're going to get 8. X to the 6th, y to the 5th by adding those exponents together. Same idea here. We have 1 times 3, that's 3. Add your 4 and 2 to get 6, and 4 and 1 to get 5. Now, what you will notice at this point is we have like terms. The coefficients and the exponents match, so you will be able to actually add these together, and 8 plus 3 is 11. And remembering from yesterday, you do not change the exponents when you add. So we're going to keep the 6 and the 5 with the x and the y in our final answer. Okay, number 17, same idea. 4 times 5 is 20. Add your exponents, a to the 4th, b to the 6th. Same idea here. 1 times -2 is -2. A to the 4th, b to the 6th. You'll notice again our exponents match, so combine 20 with -2, you will get -18, and keep those exponents the same when you are combining like terms. Okay. 18, there's nothing to do here with the first term. It's already multiplied through, so we're just going to multiply. This 4 times 3 will give us 12, and we will add those exponents to get 8 for both of them. You notice again, coincidentally, the variables and exponents match, so subtract. 19 minus 12 is 7. Keep your variables the same. And finally, number 19, we have two sets of terms to multiply. Negative 5 times negative 3 is 15, c to the 5th, d to the 2nd. And I have 7 times 2, that's 14, c to the 5th, d to the 2nd. So hopefully you can do this math. Pretty simple. 15 minus 14 is 1, and we keep our variables and exponents the same. I hope this helps you with lesson 2. I was pretty encouraged with your participation from some of you yesterday, and I hope you continue to reach out to me if you have any questions. Thanks, and we will see you again soon.